Atomic theory timeline. 332 before Christ, Aristotle believed all substance were made of small amounts of these four elements: fire, air, earth, and water. 492 before Christ, Democritus figured that all matters consist of invisible particles called atoms. Atoms are indestructible. They are solid but invisible and have different sizes, shapes, and masses. Antoine Lavoisier in 1794 was known for his experiment skills. One of his favorite experiments were turning HgO into Hg plus O. He used this experiment to help himself come up with the law of conservation. The law states that matter cannot be made or destroyed. In 1801, John Dalton figured that all matter is made of atoms. Atoms are invisible and indestructible. All atoms of a given element are identical in mass and their properties. Compounds are formed by a combination of two or more different kinds of atoms. A chemical reaction is a rearrangement of atoms. Today we know that atoms can be destroyed with nuclear reactions but not by chemical reactions. In 1897, J.J. Thomson discovered electrons. He found a negatively charged electron in a ray tube, so he made a model of a plum pudding. The negative electrons represented the raisins in the plum pudding. The dough contained the positive charge. Thomson's model of the atom did explain some of the electrical properties of the atom from electrons, but failed to show the positive charges in the atom as particles. In 1910, Ernest Rutherford said the pudding model was incorrect for J.J. Thomson. Ernest believed that atoms consist of a small, dense, positively charged nucleus in the center of the atom, with negatively charged electrons surrounding it. In 1910, Robert Millikan discovered the unit charge of the electron with his oil drop experiment. The oil drop picked up a charge from friction when it entered into the plates. It allowed for the calculation of the mass of electrons and the positively charged atoms. In 1923, Louis de Broglie's theory was basis of the wave mechanics theory. He discovered that electrons can act like particles or waves. Waves produced by electrons contain orbits around the nucleus and makes a standing wave of a certain energy of wavelength. He discovered that electrons can act like waves, which helped explain some of the things electrons do that we have never been able to explain before. In 1932, James Chadwick discovered the neutron in atoms. Chadwick discovered the subatomic particle by using a neutron chamber in his own experiment. And that is the atomic theory timeline.